Politico's Jonathan Lemire back with us, and joining the discussion we have congressional investigation reporter for the Washington Post, Jackie Alemany, MSNBC legal analyst Neal Katyal, MSNBC chief legal correspondent and anchor of The Beat on MSNBC, Ari Melber, and NBC News national affairs analyst John Heilman. Ari, I'd like to start with you. And can we just talk about tomorrow at 4 o'clock? What can we expect?
Well, I think we have the federal arraignment and we have the precedent of his last one. So you've seen how that looks, and Donald Trump's crowds, the type of things that he threatened didn't really materialize at the last one. So it should be a fairly orderly process. It shouldn't take that long. These are, as you have been laying out, the most serious charges Donald Trump has ever been indicted on. And the only time, now that he's got 3 indictments stacked up, that he's ever been actually indicted for actions in office. That's worse. It's a higher bar. And it speaks to the real seriousness of these charges, both for him as a federal defendant, as someone who could be convicted and after exhausting his appeals could be incarcerated if convicted, although he's legally presumed innocent. But it speaks to sort of the heaviness, the gravitas of all of that. So the arraignment should be straightforward. The charges are serious. And this is probably the biggest case he faces.
You know, Neal Katyal, we can already tell this morning what Donald Trump's defense is going to be. And, well, it's no defense at all. Actually, 2 non-defenses. One, they're talking about the First Amendment, which Jack Smith brilliantly takes off the playing field in the first couple of paragraphs. The second thing they're talking about is that he really did think he won. Of course, there's so much evidence that he told other people that he lost, and he couldn't believe that he lost to Joe Biden. But just for argument's sake, let's say he really did think that he lost. That doesn't matter either, because when you think you lose an election, you challenge it through proper channels. You go through the courts, you get the recounts, and then you accept the outcome of it. You don't try to launch a riot against the United States Capitol. I mean, there's no defense there, is there?
No, you're right. So, I mean, the idea that, that Trump believed that he won despite all of the evidence over and over again, obviously Trump's going to try that defense. I don't think that it's going to cut the mustard. The only way in which it possibly could is if Trump wanted to argue that he was insane, and try some sort of insanity defense or something like that. But, just because you have believed you lost the election doesn't mean that you can take you won the election, doesn't mean you can take all of these different actions to subvert the will of the people over and over again, whether it's the fake electors plot, whether it's calling people to come on January 6th to Washington, D.C. to disrupt the most sacred moment that we have in our democracy, the counting of our votes. And that's why I think Ari's absolutely right to say, not just is this, the most significant indictment that Donald Trump is facing currently, this is the most significant indictment that I would say, in a way, anyone has faced in the history of the United States. I mean, this indictment, these 45 pages paint a picture of a man who is in office and is literally imperiling American democracy. And then with respect to the First Amendment claim that Trump has, you're absolutely right. Just on page 2, Jack Smith neutralizes this, saying, of course, you have a First Amendment right. But the idea that this is just all speech, that's like, the guy who orders someone to kill someone else, orders a hitman and says, well, I just did it through speech. I was just speaking. I didn't actually do it. But, of course, if the crime is committed through speech, you have no First Amendment defense. And so that's why I think, this is, the gravity of this moment cannot be oversaid here. I mean, this is not like anything we've ever talked about on our program in our lifetimes when it comes to legal news. This is as serious as it gets.
So, Neal, for viewers reading along at home who printed out this indictment, and I encourage every American, whatever side of the aisle you're on, to read it and make an assessment for yourself. But what does it mean, number one, that Donald Trump is the sole defendant? There are 6 co-conspirators listed, and NBC News and other outlets have sorted through that one of them is Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, John Eastman. There's a list of them. But what does it mean to the trial that there is just one defendant listed here?
Yeah, so I think Jack Smith was doing this basically because he needs to get this trial on the road. He's looking at a clock in November 24 election and the possibility that Trump or some other Republican might win and stop a trial if it's not complete. And so what he's done here is he said this is an indictment against one person, Donald Trump. Not saying I'm not going to indict other people. Indeed, reading the indictment, it sure looks like other people like Jeffrey Clark will face indictments, but they will be in separate cases. And the reason for that is when you have joint trials and joint defendants, it slows things down. We faced this. I was special prosecutor in the George Floyd murder that was obviously committed primarily by Derek Chauvin, but there were 3 other officers. We faced that question. Do you try one and go faster, or do you try them all, which would result in a slower vote? A slower trial. Jack Smith has opted to go faster, charging just one, but all the other 6 are now under alert. They know they are targets. They've done, they're named as, not by name, but they're singled out as committing really serious federal crimes. And this is where the conspiracy doctrine, which is 3 of the 4 charges, comes in, because this doctrine has roots in the idea that prosecutors need a tool to flip other defendants. And what these other 6 people are on notice of right now is you better cooperate with Jack Smith, otherwise you're looking at your own indictment. So the facts of this indictment aren't all written in stone yet. There's more to come from any of these 6 or possibly other people as well.